In this video, I am going to talk about one of the things that you can do with a shapefile that has been exported from the Amina database. Obviously, one of the things that you might want to use it for is to import your shapefile into GIS software such as QGIS. Refer to GIS tutorials 1, 2, and 3 for more detailed instructions on working with shapefiles in QGIS. However, one of the other things that you can do with a shapefile is import it directly into Google Earth Pro. And that is what I'm going to show you in this video. Now, for the purposes of this video, I am using a version of Google Earth Pro on a Mac computer. So if you are using Google Earth on a Windows computer, it might look slightly differently, but all of the menu items and things that you have to click will all be the same. It's just that the layout might look a little bit different. So the first thing that you want to do to import a shapefile into Google Earth Pro is go up to the menu, click on File, and click on Import. Then you want to navigate to the shapefile where you have saved it to your computer. So I've already done a download of a shapefile for the Amina grid square E34 N2433. I saved it on my desktop, and I'm going to open up the folder. Now you can see when you export a shapefile, if there are different types of geometries, these will each export in their own shapefile, in a point file, a polygon file, and a line file. If you prefer, you can use Control to click on all three and open them all at once, and you will go through the process 3 times in a row. However, I prefer to do them individually to have a little bit of control over it, so I am just going to start with my point shapefile. So click on the file that ends with the SHP, the shape file extension, and click Open. When it asks you if you want to apply a style template to the features you ingested, click Yes, and this is going to allow us to specify what kind of pins and what kind of colors we use for, or will appear, once we have imported the sites. Choose Create a New Template, but after we're finished here, you can save your template, and you might want to choose an existing one if you've already made one in a previous attempt. In the first tab in the window that opens, you will find the Name tab. In this tab, you want to choose the field from the drop-down that has the terms that you want the sites to be labeled as. Normally, we'll recommend using the Amina ID field or the site name field. So I am going to scroll down, and I'm going to use the Amina ID numbers, so those will be the numbers that are labeled on my pins. Next, click on the Color tab and choose from 3 options. Use a single color if you want all your pins to be the same color. You can click on the button next to it to open the color wheel and choose a color and click OK. If you'd like to have a more colorful map, you can use random colors, and this will apply a random color to every pin that is created. Finally, a really useful option is to set color from field. Choose the field that you want to sort your pins by in the Select Color field dropdown. So for example, you might want to sort your pins by color based on their condition. Once you do that, you will see that the window opens and it'll show you all the terms that are in the condition field. So we have good, fair, poor, destroyed, and unknown. And you can assign a different color to each of these conditions. First, choose a palette by choosing a start color. I'm going to start with green and an end color, and I'm going to end with red. So that you end up with this color palette that you can choose from of colors ranging from green to red. I'm also going to click the Create Subfolders for each bucket, so that will actually divide each of my terms into a folder. So all of the pins that have a good condition will be in one folder and fair in another folder, etc. Enter the names that you want for the folders here under folder name. I'm just going to use the same names as the conditions. And we can see here that it is assigned colors based on our palette to each of the terms. And you can change them by clicking on it, but I'm going to leave them as they are, as this looks like a pretty good range to me. Next, you can click on the Icon tab to select the type of icon that you want to use for each of your pins. Use the same icon for all features. We'll apply the same icon to each pin, but because we'd set different colors in the Color tab, they will each appear in a different color. So I'm going to scroll down and choose a nice circular kind of pin. You can also set the icon from field, and it'll allow you to choose a field and set a different icon for each unique term that appears in the field, just like we did in the color field. So you could choose the field, you could choose condition again, or you could choose a different type of field such as disturbance category. And you can see we have a couple categories here listed: illegal activities or industrial productive. And using the same method as in the color section, you could choose different icons for each of these. However, I'm going to use just the same icon for all of my pins and leave it at that. Finally, in the Height tab, you can change the height that the pins are set at. Normally, we recommend to just leave these with the setting clamp features to ground. When you've set your parameters, click OK. And then you can choose to save the style template and give it a name. If you want to be able to use this same template again, I'm just going to add a number to this and save it. And you will see that your site's points appear under temporary places. Turn that on. You can now see that I have several points and they're in different colors. And when I open the folder, they're organized into folders by their condition state. And they're labeled with their Amina number. In addition, if you click on one of the points, you will see that all of the information from this shapefile that has been exported from the database is visible in the window that pops open. You should drag your folder out of temporary places into My Places so that it will be saved. If you only had points to do, then you are now finished. However, if you recall, we also had other types of shapefiles like polygons and lines, so we may want to add those as well. So I'm going to go through the steps again, a little more quickly this time. I'm going to click on Import again. It opens up automatically again to my same folder, so I'm going to click on the polygon shapefile this time. Yes, I want to apply a style template. I'm going to create a new template again. I want to use the same field, again, the Amina ID, to label these. For the color, for the polygons, I want to use the same colors so that when it creates the polygons as for when I made the points. So I'm going to set the color from field. I'm going to use the condition field to organize my polygons. I'm going to start my palette at green, end it at red, create subfolders for each bucket, and give them names. And if I need to, I might want to adjust the colors, but I'll just leave these for now. But you might want to try to adjust them so they match exactly the colors used in your points shapefile, because they might be slightly different. You will notice here for polygons, there is no option for icon because they do not get an icon because they're polygons. Leave the height at clamp features to ground and click OK. Again, we can save this style template, click Save, and your polygon folder will be created if we just turn that on. You can now see, if we zoom in, that a number of polygons have been created in different colors. And again, they're organized by condition state because I specified they should create different folders. Again, drag this up to your My Places folder to save it, and now you're done. You could repeat this yet again for the lines shapefile as well. And again, on each of the polygons, if you click on them, you can see the Amina ID, you can see all the information associated with it in the window that opens.